Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the ServiceGuru Advanced Quoting add-on, understand a little bit about how it works and how we use it. We're going to start off by having a look at two examples of the Advanced Quoting action, and then we'll go ahead and have a look at how we go and set up and configure the Advanced Quoting system to work for your system. So the first thing we're going to go and do is jump into our first of two jobs, and that's going to be our job over here. And we're going to go and take a look at the scenario of a new oven. So in the quotes and invoicing section, we have going to add the item that we want to quote for the customer. In this instance, we're looking at the gas oven over here, and it has the standard line item elements that we can see over here. Now, where the add-on comes in is it gives us the ability to expand upon a single line item option, and we'll see this in action now. So we're going to go and click on the add-ons drop-down. We're going to go down and select the Advanced Quoting add-on button over there. And what you'll see over here is that within the settings, which we're going to get to in a bit, we've actually given some additional options for this particular product. And so over here, you can see that we've actually got the gas oven. It's listed over there. And we've also got now another option to allow for the removal and recycling of this particular item as well. So we've taken a single line item. The system is smart enough to identify that and then give us the options that we've associated with this particular product. So we're going to go and generate and send the quote to the customer. So we have all of their details in the system, and we simply need to click generate and send quote. So that generate and send the quote, and the customer will now receive an email with a link to their online quote. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they will be looking at when they receive that link. So if we go and click on the view quote button here, we can actually go and have a look at the quote that we have now prepared. And this is where you'll get to see how we've taken a simple quote and we've really expanded upon it. So we're going to go and click on that now. And you'll see that what we deliver to the customer is now very different to a standard quote. You can see that we've got information about ourselves, and this is all customizable within the support section. And this is where it gets really exciting. We can actually add images into the quote that we want to send the customer. So over here, you can see that we've got the gas oven. We have the price that we've added into the line item section, and we've also attached an image of that within the settings part of the add-on. We have an expanded description, and here is our option that we've included into this particular line item as well. So as the customer, they can come along and they can say, yes, we would like to go ahead with that gas oven and make the selection. It shows them their total so far. And then they can go ahead and select and say, yes, we'd like to have the removal and recycling option as well. So they can select that, and it will update the pricing on their system for them as well. So if we go ahead and select that, those two options, we then as the customer get to go and say, yes, I want to confirm, and we want to go ahead and accept the quote. So we go ahead and accept the quote, like so. And now if we jump back into this particular job, we're just going to close that down. In a few seconds, we're going to notice this updating, and we'll be able to see that that job has, as per normal, been accepted. It's moved from the quote to the work order status. And if we go into this job over here, what we can see is that we have the relevant notes as well as an updated price for the oven, and then you can see that there's the option that we added in there and has got the removal and recycling option. So it's included the price of the oven, it's amended the price for us, and it's included the additional options that they have selected in there as well. Okay, so that's one example. So that's where we take a product and we add an additional service to that product. Let's go ahead and have a look at another example where we want to give a customer a line item and then give them a choice between two products within that line item. So we're going to go over here to our gas hob. We're going to open up this job over here. We're going to go and have a look at our breakdown of our materials and services. And again, this is something that you would naturally create. So you'd go and fill out the information that you would normally do for a quote. However, in the back end, we have given options for the gas hob that we're going to be offering the customer. And we've also given options for a maintenance plan that we want to have the customer potentially select. So we've got those two items. We simply add the gas hob and the maintenance plan, and then the magic of the advanced quoting will expand upon those options. So we're going to come down here again to the advanced quote. It's going to open this up, and what we're going to do in this instance is that we are going to allow the customer, we've hidden the standard line item because we actually want them only to have a choice between two options, which is our square styled hob or a rectangular styled hob. And again, this will make a lot more sense when you see it in the advanced quote option. We also have a few options within this page that I can just quickly run through just to give you more details as to what you can customize. So you can go and amend the price. So you might want to say, in actual fact, let's go and adjust this price for this unit up or down, however you please. And this is really useful if you want to adjust and give options that are bespoke to that particular service or that particular client. We also have the option to hide a particular service or option. So in this instance, we could go and click the I button over here. It would hide that, giving the customer only one option for one product. We're going to leave both of them available as we want to give the customer both those options. We also have the ability to allow for multiple selections. So in this instance, as you'll see, it doesn't really make sense to give them the option to choose 2 styles of gas hobs, so we won't select that. But you might have an instance where you would like them to choose one product plus another product, and then you could allow, so for example, you could have a gas hob and a gas oven, and there you'd want the customer to choose either one or the other or both, and then you'd put a tick in the box for multiple selections. So again, like I said, we're leaving this blank for now, but you've got lots of flexibility in how you display this information to the customer. Again, the same is true for the appliance maintenance plan. Appliance maintenance plan. They have got 2 options here to go ahead and select the gold or platinum. So again, let's go and generate that and have a look at what this will look like. So generate the quote. Let's go and preview that quote. And so over here, this is somewhat different to the example that we saw in the previous step. Here you can actually see that we've got our gas hob over here, and we've given the customer an option between 2 different styles. So we can go for a square style, or we can go for a rectangular style, and you can see that it will toggle between those options, and so we can allow them to go and choose what they would like. Again, they can go and make a selection of the maintenance plan that they would like, and so we're going to give them, or they're going to select the platinum plan over here. And you can see that it's added the total into each section as they go. So now we've got a total of £719. They can go and say, yes, we are happy to proceed with that, accept the quote. And then as we saw again in the previous example, once we close this down, this job has now been accepted automatically through the system. So you've gone from quote to work order, and you will continue through your usual process of now signing and going to go and carry out that work. If we go and have a look at this particular job, we go and look at the quote and invoicing, you can see that they've selected the rectangular style, that price has been added in, and they've selected the platinum appliance, maintenance appliance, and that price has been added in for them. And all we started with was 2 options, just a gas hob and an appliance maintenance, and now it will specify once the customer has made the selection and update the line items within the system, so that when you come to invoicing that, you're invoicing your customer for exactly what they selected. It will also generate a quote over here using your standard quote document. So in case they want a traditional PDF option, you can either print or email that over to them, and it has the standard display of the quote through your standard quote template. Right, let's go ahead now and have a look at how we configure the advanced quoting system to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to our add-ons tab. We're going to come down to our advanced quoting icon over here. And this is where we go and build out a particular set of options as well as imagery for a particular item code. So to give you a bit of context on how the system works, essentially it's going to look at an item code. So it's going to look for a line item that you add, and when it sees that, it will be able to make all of the options that you've created around that item code available for that particular line item or service. So the easiest example is to go and have a deep dive into one that we've created already, and then I can just give you a quick run through as to how you go and create one for any other material. But let's go ahead and look at the gas hob option over here. We go in and edit that, and you can see that we've selected an item code, and this is the information that it presents us with. So the first thing is we get to decide the name that gets displayed on the top of that gray box that we saw earlier. So you can label that however you'd like to label that. Then we go and create a description for that particular product. Now, because we're presenting quite a visual display of the product within the advanced quote, it's a good idea to give pretty descriptive descriptions within that space to really help sell those options to the product, because the customer is going to be now making a choice over what they want. So it's a good idea to describe that in as much detail as possible. We then have the ability to add up to 3 images of that particular product, and then we move into the space where we can create options. And options can either be additional items to the main item, or they could be standalone options that are associated with the main item. So in this example, we have got options that are to be selected. So you can either choose the square style or the rectangular style, and we've included an image of both of those, and we've added a description of that particular square style, and as well as the rectangular style that we can see down here. We then set a price for each one of those, and we can add as many options or services as we like for a particular line item. So just to recap, we take a line item, and then we get to expand upon the information contained within that line item. We get to add an image on that line item, and then we get to add options or services for that particular line item. So once we have completed all of those steps, we click save, and that will save that into our materials list over here. And you'll go through this process generating the information for each one of those materials or services that you use that you want to have expanded options for. So that's the first step. You've got to have the material and the information filled out in order for the system to recognize it. But once it's there, as long as you include that item code in the line item materials, it will show the expanded options available within the material settings. Right, let's go ahead and take a look at adding just run through quickly adding a new material and a few of the options, just so you can get a general idea. We're not going to go in and add any of the imagery or the descriptions. Instead, I'm just going to discuss what we would do in that space, as you've already seen with the others. So we go ahead and click the Add Material button, and the first thing we need to do is go and search for our materials. So we'll go and have a look for what we have in our materials list, and this will go and reference your services and materials within ServiceM8. So once we have selected a particular material, we will then associate all of the additional information with that material. So we've got an inspection piece, PVC piece over here, and we might want to go and expand that description out, and then we'd go and add images for that. And if we wanted to add any options or services, we would go ahead and do that. And by clicking on the add service, we get the option to add the option name, the description, and image and price, and then we keep repeating that to give options for that particular line item. Once we're satisfied that we've got that built out correctly, of course we click save, and then all we need to do is when we go back to the job card, create a new job, we go to our invoicing and quote section, and simply by adding a material here, let's use our gas oven option. So we have an example already created, material price already created in the back end for that. We simply click save. We now have a quote that's ready to go for the customer. And now when we go ahead and go to advanced quoting, because the system has information on this particular item, we can go and select the items that we want visible to the customer, and now go ahead and generate that quote for them. And all of the information contained within the backend is now available for that customer to go and make their selection. So a really simple, easy way to give your customers the option of accepting or configuring their own quotes, and expanding out and essentially upselling your services to your particular customer in a very visual, appealing way for them to make informed choices about the products and services that you offer. Nice and simple, nice and easy, and we hope you like it as much as we do.